Hey, welcome back. For those of you with really sharp eyes, you might notice this map is slightly different. I found in the next mission logic a little bit of a bug that caused skills to disappear. So that has been fixed in the mod, but also I had to redo the map. So in the process of getting that fixed, the map is different than the one that I originally generated. Of course, we hadn't started anything. The other thing, and I have not fixed this yet, but I did find that both the HMG headquarters and the HMG headquarter markers were not pulled out for Bulge. So I will update the mod and get those updated sometime here in the next week. So we are on to mission 2. Now, a little bit of a caveat. I'm not an expert in vehicle movement or vehicle actions, the whole vehicle phase in Fields of Fire. So I'm not going to make you suffer through me figuring it out. What I plan to do is if I am confused, I'm going to pause, hopefully remember to unpause when I figure it out, and move on and try to do these rules with this right. I've brushed myself up. I've watched the video, went back through the advanced boot camp, went through the rules. I think I understand it, but there probably will be some pauses and starts while I work through stuff and get to the point where this is second nature. But this is, by the way, one of the reasons that I really wanted to do the Bulge campaign, is to not just run it through a test, but great opportunity to get better and better at vehicle side of Fields of Fire. So I've placed units. Now, let's take a quick peek, excuse me, at this mission. It is a defensive mission, 12 turns. We have night, twilight, and then some mist. So we have a couple of days of some daylight with mist, twilight with mist on turn 9. 1 through 8 are night with a +4, so it is very dark. Meaning we have limited visibility. They have limited visibility. We can see effectively one card unless there is illumination. Required to occupy, I was required to occupy all the cards within the MLR, the main line of resistance. So, and that is from here up to here, over to here, and down to the staging area. However, I did reach out and verify that it is acceptable to have units in the staging area in reserve. So not everybody has to be on those cards, but somebody has to be on every card. So here's what I decided to do, is the Germans are going to be attacking effectively. If we look at this map, there's an attack zone 1 and an attack zone 2, and then they have an attack zone 3. And so they will be coming from primarily 1 and 2. I think attack zone 3 is applicable. I think, well, certain packages, I'm sure. Let's take a quick peek. Let's see. Here I am making you already watch me figure this out. I think that there might be events. We'll figure that out as we go along. But you'll notice the Germans are going to be moving down the attack route, and they need to try to stay, for the most part, not solely. There are some rules very specific about this vehicle behavior, of how they're going to move and try to move. So, which includes just moving down the map on the default routes. Couple of other key things. I was able to place some mines, and the Germans have spotlights, which I've never used before, but there's a rule that if the Germans do the spotlight, it both blinds the units on the card that they've spotlighted, but it also highlights the tank for other units to fire at. So that's going to be interesting. Now, what I've decided to do, since they're coming down here, and if I hit the routes button, is they're coming down here and then over and then off, right? So they're going to start up here, come down to here, cut over, and go off. Or they're going to start here, go down to here, over and off. What I've decided to do is on the road, place a bunker with both artillery as well as the HMG, one HMG. I've also placed on this in a foxhole a anti-tank team. Over here, I've got my LMG. Now, one of the reasons I decided to place the anti-tank team here, although I am rethinking it as I say this out loud. I am actually rethinking this as I say this out loud. Interesting. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, I did make one slight change. What I did was I kept the anti-tank here so that they can fire here if they come down the road. But I also moved and made sure I had an anti-tank here. So the third platoon's anti-tank is here, able to cover this road and these open fields. And I have another anti-tank here. And actually, I am going to move the second's anti-tank over to here. Now, my thinking here is, and I don't think I want. Yeah, no, I'll stick with this. I'm going to leave a foxhole on here just in case I need to get somebody up here under a trench. You'll notice, though, I'm able to place 2 foxholes. I chose on the road, since they're coming down the road, to only place 1 foxhole because I didn't want to give them free cover and I didn't want to use all the foxholes. Now up here, I've got a free one. I've used every other one. I have some available foxholes in these units. So I've also placed in deep bunkers some infantry units with some, handheld illumination, but also some bazookas with the idea that they're better protected, but they can quickly get to this front line if they need to, or pop out and fire. So if we look across the line, I've got a light machine gun. Now again, remember visibility, I can only see adjacent cards right now. I've got a heavy machine gun covering the road coming in, but also this open field and over here. I've got this anti-tank and I've got artillery that I can lay down. I've got, and by the way, the artillery is able to lay down illumination as well. So we may take advantage of the illumination. Here we have another HMG covering the road and open hexes, a mortar, both the open fields, and then the anti-tank, the road and the open fields. Another machine gun and anti-tank here. So, and then a machine gun and the mortar here. Down here, I've got a mortar, a light machine gun, platoon with a bazooka, the HMG platoon HQ, just kind of up there with all of the heavy machine guns. Third platoon, also with a bazooka. Over here, first platoon with a bazooka, and here we've got one of the mortars. So trying to form that line. One thing is, in playing this game and playing defensive missions with my brother in Vietnam, we tried to not have units on every card because it triggers PC markers. And we found in this one, they require that you put them on. So one option is to almost immediately try to move off. I thought about maybe I should activate some, maybe I should put some headquarters out on some cards and immediately get them off. I decided not to. I'm curious to see how it plays out. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. So let's see. What are the other critical things here? I don't think there's anything else super critical. We placed mines, AT mines up here. When they come in there, if they come into those, they have to stop. Well, they already have to stop. They're slow. So all of these are slow. Moving through the Ardennes was not a fast process. So but a vehicle that comes in here can get attacked. So you'll notice I'll put here note 1 under the German force packages. The tanks and tank destroyers either come in Forest Road Zone 1 or 2. So those were the 2 zones up top. And standard squads will, while they're available, will also come on with them mounted. So the tanks come one at a time. So basically, they start at Zone 1. Then they'll go to zone 2, and then they'll start to queue up behind and move and come on as they can. Let's see. I think that's it. Tanks enter one at a time and remain queued up behind and on subsequent vehicle phases. So I don't know whether that means subsequent vehicle phases. It sounds like when they get queued up, it's the next phase. Next phase would not, it's not the next vehicle. So it sounds like they come in one at a time. That's the way I'm going to play it. All right. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else. We'll tackle some of these as we get into them. So this is a defensive mission. The Germans are green and an overrun attack. They have what did this say on the? They will use the GRP. So we have up here. We have we look here. We have these are the Panzer, the PZGs, and then these are no, all those. What? Well, standard squads are available. Each GRP 1 through 6. I thought GRP 1 through 6 were not used in this. Hold on a second. Oh, no, GP. There's GP 1 through 6. I'm sorry. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are so these L-rated squads will come in. Yep. Yep. 1 through 6. All right. So, looking at this changes the defensive mission changes. We still start with a friendly HQ, enemy HQ starting on turn 2. So now we're placing PC markers. So if you look here at the attack timing table, turn 1, we place C counters on row 2. So, being a defensive mission, you know what? There's another bulge. I'm going to pause. I need to make a note. There should be a menu. Okay, I'm back. Made a little change just in this scenario. I'll fix the mod probably in between recordings. But notice now if I hit the right mouse button, I get a down at the bottom pull PCA B or C. So row 2, we are placing C markers. I'm pulling C's for this. Well, that was not a C. I don't know what I just did there. Delete that guy. So we have potential counters, potential C counters. Now, check every unit on the map. There are none. This is usually very fast first turn. Time for the friendlies. Which? So the CO, we are in no contact. So shuffle a deck, draw a card. He gets 3, no contact, 4, veteran 5. Just going to save him. Is that what should do? No, I feel like you should maybe activate some people. Activate. Let's activate all those guys. And just get them queued up while we can get extra. So, first platoon. He ends up with 6. Banking him. Second, oh, you know what? I can only just realized the max spend with limited visibility is 4. So I had 5. I could only spend 4. The max save for limited visibility for a veteran is 6. So I can only save 2 with Green, let's see, max save for line. So I can only save 4 for anybody else. So he is a veteran. In fact, all of my leaders except the 3rd platoon are veterans now. So second gets 2 plus 2 more. So he's 4. Now the 3rd is, well, the 3rd's not activated. So the XO is 6. Again, no contact veteran. First sergeant actually gets to waste one right away. Make sure there's nothing we want him to do, but I can't imagine why we would have put him out there. Then we will draw for the 3rd platoon. So he gets 3 plus 4. So he gets 4. That's good. He gets to save them all. The HMG is a veteran. So he gets 1 plus 2. So he has 3. Now, general initiative. Do have an interesting idea. Let's see what we get. Oh my gosh, we got 4. Golly. Let me pause. I want to look at one thing. So C's have a potential for incoming. A's do not. And B's do not. Now, it's not a high probability. It is a 20%. So you'll notice over on the German contacts, a 1 or a 2 out of 10 is in it. That is package 1, which is incoming. Everything else will end up with something else. What I'm thinking about is moving, and I think I am going to do this, is I was required to put these guys here, but I am going to move them back here for now. So I can move both of those. And I think I'm going to move these 2. You know what? I don't like the idea of moving the heavies. And I've got heavies on every other card. I think I'm just going to do that. That is going to limit the potential. Well, I guess I, in theory, should have put a potential C, but I'm not going to have a contact there. So I've limited it by 1. It's not a dramatic change. I'm actually going to shift them back. You know what? I am not doing this. I am not going to do it. And the reason is, when I shift them back, they're going to end up exposed, and I may end up. I'm on a defensive front. We're just going to see what happens. All right. So, general initiative. I'm wasting them all. I'll never get another 4 for general initiative. The rest of this, you watch the rest of this. All right. So no enemy. This is not an offensive mission. No capture. There is no AT. There's no fire. We're just straight to potential contacts. So effectively, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we're resolving these 5. So which one first? Oh, the first one first. Well, this is the one that I was ironically thinking of moving off. So this is a C, and we have no contact, so we're drawing 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't know if you noticed, the short went, so try to remember that. So nothing on this triggered by this card. Now we're down to 4. By the way, there are hotkeys on the numpad. If I hit the number 4, it'll tell me 0 A's, 0 B's, 4 C's. So a real easy way to know what's left. Helpful in defensive missions, more so than offensive missions, I find. All right. Number 4. So we're going all the way over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one did trigger. So we're going to draw, what was it? That is a 9. So PC So it's package 7. If you look under the contact packages, PCC, a 9 is package 7. Package 7 is an infiltration attempt, one assault team, which, one assault team. Let's make sure we understand one assault team. I think it's literally an assault team. So an ALAT is the way I'm reading that. Right? That's an assault team. Yep. One assault team attempting to do an infiltration, not spotted, does not place a VOF. Of course, it would only be on point blank. Max line of sight per the placement table. Placement table. Contact column is 2, so we're drawing 4. That is a 3. So that is direct front. So he is going to attempt to infiltrate here. It says spotted was no. Yep, spotted was no. Contact column 2. All right. So they're green, even though that says line. Oh, wait a minute. Assault teams are always line, right? I mean, assault teams are line. Everything else is green. So that's the rule. So he gets to draw 2 cards to see if he infiltrates. 1, 2. He does not, so he is exposed. Doesn't matter because he is unspotted. So I can't open fire on him. So, all right. We now have, well, we don't even have contact. Don't have a spotted enemy unit. That's really weird. That we don't spot him. I guess it's just getting the attack rolling. I don't think it's weird with an attack. All right. Drawing 3. So the second one. So we're going with this middle right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he draws nothing. 2 more. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he did trigger. And he triggers. Incoming. That is a 2. No, that is a, yep, that's a 2. So it's package 2. Incoming. Single fire mission, no spotter. So we just place a single -3 VOF on this card. Well, this will be interesting. Now we have a VOF. So this guy, last one, is now contact, so he's drawing 3. So 1, 2, 3. So nothing. Okay, so that's 2 units on the map, on the board. And we have moving down. There is no pinned recovery, so it's just, this is the only combat we have to resolve. So, visibility has no effect on incoming. So this is a +2 for this guy. Actually, trying to remember. Because this is incoming, it's a 0 protection. So this is a +1, -3. So this guy is a -2. These two are at even. So the -2 first. He is hit. And he is a veteran, I think. So he is paralyzed. So we've already lost. Maybe not the best placement. He's clinging on for dear life to that unit. Wow. All right. So that's paralyzed. Now, these guys were -3 and then +3, so they are even. So left to right. So the artillery spotter is pinned, and then the heavy machine gun is hit and flips to his, that's actually a good hit. He flips to his fire team side. Oops. Does he not? Oh. This is trying to figure out how these work. Bear with me. I'm going to read real quick and make sure I understand how those work. All right. Because he is a two-step fire team. Where did I put him? Where in the world did I put him? First of all, this guy was pinned. Let's do that. Huh. Did I put him up here with these guys? I did. He's up here. We're going to take the 1-1. Break him down. So he is now a pinned. And we got a lat, which was a fire team, out of this. So, and specifically where I read is over here, if it's a fire team, if the unit has more than one step, let's see. Yeah, if the unit is more than one step, place a fire team as indicated and reduce the unit by one step. So we replace the fire, we place a fire team, and then we replace the unit with one step. Excuse me. So he is also pinned. And then this guy is pinned, but he still is the machine gun. If he became a fire team again, he would flip to that fire team. So that's the way that works. I haven't really dealt with two-step fire teams units very often. So that is the end of that incoming. It was kind of devastating. Knocked out, did some damage. So I'm a little worried about back here now. But we now go to the cleanup phase, and notice in a defensive mission, remove all unresolved PC markers. So we don't have any right now, but anything that didn't have, I deleted a bunch of them because we weren't going to move. But we basically, this guy cannot open fire because he's point blank. And we can't open fire on him because he is unspotted. So we're going to clean up. We're going to move on to turn 2. Still low visibility. So, very first thing we do we have an HQ event? We do. Well, how interesting. Number 1, friendly HQ event. Number 1, if mist is in, turns 2 through 4, comm trouble. HQ or the CO is not activated. It must draw for initiative. It must use 2 commands to reestablish communication. Well, that's just awesome. So, meaning as we march down, when we get there, the whole activation segment is gone. We just start with the initiative segment. Now, it's got an asterisk. So if I am able to, the way I've always read that is with the asterisks, if you are able to successfully do what it tells you to do, you get an experience point. And so in this case, we have to use 2 commands. Well, right now we only have 1. So if we draw a 0, then we'll have none. So that's quite interesting, I think. So now we move on. Defensive mission, enemy HQ event. So we're going to draw a card. They do not have one. Replacing PC markers. Next. A on row 2, C on row. So these are now C's, which is nerve-wracking after watching that devastation. Now, keep in mind, it's a 20%. First of all, you have to have contact. We're going to draw the A's first. The odds that we start to get higher contact and these C's result in less, I think is higher. But we have A's all the way across here. All right. We've placed those. Now, check every enemy unit. We only have one enemy unit. It is on this offensive enemy hierarchy. So that is a unit that is not on the same card. It's not an A, an assault, a G, or a HOV. So all other situations, it's an overrun. We're drawing 3. We got a 1. It's going to attempt to infiltrate towards the closest card. Fortunately, it pulled an infiltrate. Now the closest card, there's 2 of them. Let's quick speak. Infiltrate towards the closest card. So there's 2 cards that are the closest. And what I have been told is that they are always trying to move towards an area. And I am going to make I'm going to pause real quick and make sure there's nothing specific in these rules. All right, I think I actually messed one thing up, and I'm going to go back and fix it. If you look here under 4.7, German force packages, it says any German tank, tank destroyer, or infantry unit marked exposed that moves into the line of sight of a good order U.S. unit is automatically spotted. Meaning, when these guys, they infiltrated in, so I assume that's movement. Because they didn't successfully infiltrate and were marked exposed, I believe they were spotted. And therefore, these guys would have both opened up fire. Now, I don't know if this is helping me or hurting me, because this is automatic fire. But it's also a -4 or a +4 with the. I'm basically using ammo, and I don't know how great a chance I have to hit them. So I'm just going to mark them exposed so we remember. So I'm going to do this fire, but I'm also going to go mark that both of these guys. So that is 2-2 and 1-2. 2-2 and 1-2 are down to 5. So they're going to use ammo. Now, we're firing through this lower one, so it's a 0, -2, -3, -4, and then +4 for the moon. So it's a 0. So he was pinned. So we are going to do that. I'm going to remove the exposed, put a pinned, remove the unspotted. And I believe that was the correct way. If it turns out I was wrong, somebody please in the comments let me know. So now we are back. We've placed their PCs, but this guy's movement, I probably just messed that up because I had already looked to see if he was going to infiltrate. I hate to undo all this. See if I can. Let's see. Yeah, so all it was is that. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna do this differently because this was the card I pulled to see what he would do. That's a miss. I am going to have him miss. There. So he missed. Now we used ammo. So all I basically did is cost myself ammo. So you, at least you know I'm honest. But hopefully that made sense. This was the card used to determine what he would do. So now we're going to check and see what he will do again, which on a 3, a drawing. So this does change what he's going to try to do. On an overrun, he's just going to move straight ahead. So move one card towards the MLR or the staging area. And so if an overrun, we move off the map. So he basically is going to try to move, and he will move into here, have, of course, a foxhole for him. These guys, I believe, continue to fire, but this card will not. That PDF goes away. This PDF is still there. So hopefully that makes sense. When he moved, I don't believe this fire moves with him. I check that again. I feel like a rookie here. These are rules, but sometimes I confuse myself. But 8.3.4, it says the PDF never changes direction in response to the opposing unit's movement. So basically, this one was able to pull back, but this one stays firing there. So I have to decide if I want to keep wasting ammo or not, which is going to be interesting. All right. So that is the only movement. He's in a foxhole that I left sitting there for him. Gave him a little bit extra. He is moving. We both have automatic fire. Depending on, I got to decide if I want to leave fire there. Actually, he can't get there. I might do a ceasefire if I get a general initiative. I'm not going to fire off I'm not firing off a round for that. All right. So that's their movement. Now, we, unfortunately, jumped down, skipped the activation segment. We're drawing for the CO. He is a veteran. So he gets 3. So he's up to 4. Now he has to spend the first 2 because of the friendly event, the not so friendly event we had. Control. First 2 commands reestablish communication, but I do get an experience gain for that. And then, do I have very many people? I do not think I'm going to activate anybody, because these guys are all back here. So, well, I can't activate anybody. What am I talking about? That's not that segment. I can't activate. You can't activate during the initiative phase. So let's just march down the line with these guys. Probably going to be a bunch of wasted, because these guys are the most I can, well, they are going to be, most I can save. So first platoon, it's going to save 6. Second platoon is sitting here. Now, he is a veteran. Second platoon is a veteran, but he gets 0. He is a +1, so I'm going to say 5. Third platoon is already at his max, so he gets 4, but can't do anything with them. And by the way, I am not going to go move them up on these cards yet. So I'm wasting these commands. So the HMG gets 3, and he's a veteran as well, so he's at 7. Now interesting question. I'll look real quickly at him. He is not carrying any extra ammo. Each HMG team starts with, so it's not really a great reason for him. other than maybe to move up here and tell him to cease fire, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this guy move here and then call a cease fire. That feels wise. So that was 2 uses of my, I'm saving 5. For Sergeant and the XO, they can't do anymore, and I'm not going to move them onto the map. I'm not putting anybody down here where the incoming can come in. All right. So, general initiative. I don't think there's much I need to. I get 2. So one question is, this guy's a paralyzed team. I think I'm going to move that paralyzed team back there. He's exposed. Oh, he has to leave his handheld device there. Then I'm going to attempt to unpin let's see. He can attempt, I mean, they can attempt to remove it themselves. So who do I want? I want the HMG. Do I want the HMG? You know, they're all going to get unpinned now that I think about it. They're all going to get unpinned because this incoming is coming off. Well, I say that. We'll see what comes in. I don't think the A will trigger. I'm going to attempt to rally the HMG. So he is a veteran, so he's drawing 3. 1, 2, 3. So he did rally. All right. So he's in a position where he can open fire. So those are my 2. All right. So now, no offensive. There is no capture, no retreat, no AT. One thing I haven't done has been activating anybody, although they can reaction fire. So fire mission updates. This comes off. We do have 1 VOF, so we are still in no, it's not. It's just, even though we don't have 2 or more occupied cards under a VOF right now. So right now we're just in contact, even though we have units on the same card. So now potential contact. So let's look at this. These PCs can just go away. I'm going to delete those because we're not resolving them. But we are resolving all these A's and then all these C's. So let's start with the A's. So number 2. So ironically, that card. And that is an A. Fortunately, it's a contact, but A. So it's 7 draws. So 1. Well, it's contact. God, that's. I want to not see the. Want to not see the reshuffle card for a bit. So 10. That is a 4. PCA 4, that is a package 4. Tanks, 3 Panthers. Here we go. 3 Panthers are coming in. So, again, starting in zone 1, then they're coming in Forest Road 2, then they're going to queue up back at 1. Also, while there are squads available, which they are, they're going to come in mounted. So we're going to have squads are coming in on top of each of these. So this guy is going to move here, and he has to stop because it's slow. It's exposed because they moved. This guy is coming in here, also exposed. has to stop because it's slow. This guy is queued up back there. Okay. Now we have, so that's, we can't see them. So we still are in contact. So we still have 7 draws. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Number 2. So it's this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're reshuffling. So none of that matters. We had contact. So this guy, contact again. That is number 1. PCA, that's number 2. Tanks, 2 Panthers. Well, that ironically works. So all the Panthers are in now. What's going to happen is stacked. So the first one's stacked here, 104, and then 105 is stacked back here. We're just going to stack them like that. These guys have squads coming in with them. So they're just queued up. And that's that one. All right. 3 A's for the first one over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, we had one that didn't flare. First one, which is now here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Woohoo! Count that as a blessing. Now on this A. 1. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure, yep, 7. So this guy has contact. That is number 6. Oh, wow. We're drawing from 5. I don't know if I did that right before. That is number 3, which is package 3. I bet you I did that wrong, but I got. There's no way to go back now. No way to go back. Dang it. So if you look at what I'm looking at here, I'm so used to them being 10s, but the A's are 5. So that is a 3, which is package number 3, which is tank destroyers, 2 of them. Pretty sure are these guys. Stacked up again. 1, 2. While they're available. So there's the first. So he's coming in. So all of these guys are now assigned. All right. Now the C's. So we are still under contact. So 3, we're drawing 3. So which one are we drawing for? Got 5 of them. So we're drawing for the 4th one. So right here. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, we have contact. It is a 10 on this, so that's incoming. Jeez. We know it's incoming. Well, oops. Now, that does 2 things. I mean, that guy's at risk. The deep bunker, maybe a little bit less. Now, that does put us at heavily engaged because we now have 2 volumes of fire and we're on the same card. So the rest of these are just drawing 1. So next one, where there's 4 of them. So we're drawing for over here. Nothing. 3 of them. Here. Nothing. 2 of them here. Nothing. And then nothing. So, honestly, not too bad. All right. So, pinned recovery. So, he recovered. Recovered. And that's it. So now, this guy, 1, 2, is using an ammo again. 1, 2. And make sure the German tanks, that's fine. German squads. I see nothing about their ammo. I think they just have German squads. Yeah, there's nothing on that assault team saying it didn't have. So it just has an assault. So they are -1. I think point blank. That's an interesting question. Cover and concealment. I would expect it's the lower number. Huh. See if I can find this quickly. If not, I'm going to pause. Cover and concealment. Use the lower number. Yep, coming from within the card itself. So that's 0 from the card. He is -3, but +5. 1 for the foxhole and 4 for it being nighttime. So it is +5, -3, so it is a +2, which is pinned. So he is pinned. Now, here we have -1, but then there is +7. So these are both +6. Huh, wow. Pinned and miss. Amazingly, he is pinned as well, turning both of those into all pinned. Wow. Isn't that something? All right, now we got to do here. So the card is a +1, +2, -1. So he's a -1. Let's do him first. -1. Hit. He is a veteran, so he is paralyzed. This artillery is really put a hurting on me. All right. Now this one is +5, +6, -3. So +3. Oh my God, he's hit. That's just brutal. So we have a litter team. Oh. That's just effing brutal. Pinned and pinned. Sitting in a deep bunker. All right, so that's that. Now's when it's going to start to get real. We're coming up on the hour. I'm going to hit cleanup. We're going to move on to turn 3. When I say it's going to get real, these tanks are going to start to move, and these other ones are going to start to come on. And you'll notice, can't move, got to be on the road, can't move, road, slow, 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 can't move, right? So all these guys are moving one at a time. But now is when we're going to get into the meat a little bit. If we look here at this next phase, we got a couple of turns We got a B and a C, so that bottom row is still going to face some. I think we'll stay at heavily engaged most likely because the tanks will move. We'll see them. Yeah, we'll see them. So, and we'll be heavily engaged. So I think the C maybe won't hurt us too bad. Hopefully, but it should be interesting. But I'm going to save this because when we come back, we're going to have to do a little bit more thinking about about do we activate units for anti-tank. So it's going to get a little bit interesting. And we have to figure out how the German units move. So appreciate you sticking with me. I'm learning this. I feel like an absolute rookie compared to playing one of the infantry only ones. But hopefully you're enjoying, learning. Know I am. See you a little bit later on turn 3.